90 minutes before liftoff. Time to get suited up again. This time it was for real. Now my anxiety was even more pronounced. Our flight plan had us airborne for nearly 3 hours, but even before takeoff, you must breathe pure oxygen for 1 hour so your body adjusts. It also hit me that on this day, I would be flying higher than any other human being in the world.
Okay, emergency's been declared. You're about to see this place go ape. You're going to see flashing lights, and there they go. You're going to see the fire department responding here if they're not already out on the field. By declaring an emergency, he now gets whatever he wants from air traffic control. Of course, what it also does is it energizes this entire Air Force base to get ready for whatever might happen.
Well, it's called the Nightingale, paying homage to Italian-born Florence Nightingale, the woman who raised nursing to the level of a profession for women. Well, for years, the C9 has been a welcome and, in many times, life-saving sight for the sick and injured. Well, now, the last chapter is being written on the flying ambulance. Our reporter is Staff Sergeant Joe Wallace.
Early morning on the flight line. The sun is rising on a new chapter in Air Force medicine. The old, reliable C9, the Air Force flying ambulance since the days of Vietnam, is being retired. This day's flight is the last for this aircraft. It's being flown to Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Arizona, where it will go into storage. With the retirement of the C9, the Air Force aeromedical evacuation mission is changing.
I got shot in the leg.
I had an allergic reaction to a medication.
I got shot in the foot. I got hit with an IED bomb.
These soldiers were flown from Iraq for treatment in the U.S., all needing care at a stateside hospital. They're about to be transferred to a C-130. It and other aircraft will become the new Air Force flying ambulance.
I think most of the patients that are returning from the AOR are just so happy to be getting back. They don't care, what they're flying in, basically.
This C9 crew is enjoying its last trip in the Nightingale. The C9's departure is a bittersweet event, especially for one pilot with more than 10,000 hours in the C9 cockpit.
It's a very sad day. I've been flying the C9 since 1976. For 27 years I've been doing this, and as many people say, this is the Cadillac of aerovac.
This landing marks the end of an era. The aircraft now goes into storage, parked among the rows of other aircraft also retired at Davis-Monthan. The C9 won't suffer the fate of this C-141 being chopped up for scrap. Instead, the C9 fleet will be sealed and preserved, all of them ready should the C9 ever again become the Air Force flying ambulance. Staff Sergeant Joe Wallace, Air Force News, Scott Air Force Base, Illinois.
When people in the military mail packages home from overseas, they fill out a green customs declaration form and drop off the package at the military post office and forget about it. But Staff Sergeant Joe Wallace wanted to see what happens to the mail after it leaves the military post office. He went to Chicago, Illinois to see how U.S. Customs handles military mail.
Packages. Thousands and thousands of packages, all mailed from Europe back to people in the United States. It's a huge volume of mail, and it all needs to clear customs before it leaves this mailroom. The customs staff tries to keep contraband out of the country by inspecting every single package. There are strict rules for packages mailed to the U.S. No drugs, bombs, or bullets.
But sometimes we can find documents for terrorism and stuff that's coming in.
What's it like when you see something like that?
The terrorism stuff, well, yeah, we check it out with our agents and they have interpreters.
One of the things we have the greatest fear of is that any military person that may be bringing a prohibited item in, is that one day those items could fall in the hands of an individual who has bad intentions to the United States of America.
There are many tools used in the crackdown on contraband. X-rays, physical inspection, even a radiation detector. In addition to high-tech gadgets, mail is also subject to sniffing. Freddie is a contraband sniffing beagle.
What you got there? Show me.
Typically what we try to get them to do is to dig at the package that they smell, and then we'll toss it off to the side.
Dogs have always been a mailman's worst enemy, but here they're on the same team, working to keep the military mail system safe. The packages keep coming in. U.S. Customs and Border Protection looks at them all, confiscating anything they find on their do not mail list. Staff Sergeant Joe Wallace, Air Force News, Chicago, Illinois.
You're listening to GearWire.com.
I'm Joe Wallace for GearWire.com, and we're here at Chicago's House of Blues with Gary Numan. Welcome back to the States.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
First of all, tell us a little bit about Jagged and the tour and what you're doing with the new project.
With Jagged's the new album. It's been about 5 years since the last one, so it's been a bit of a saga, really, trying to get it together. But the whole reason for what we're doing now is simply to try to reintroduce me to the public, because it's been so long since the last one. Pretty much any kind of momentum and interest that we built up with the last one has been largely lost because of the stupid amount of time it's taken me to actually make the new one. So we're pretty much just starting again, as I've done many times before. I just got an appalling sense of momentum. You know, go home, get into other things, do other stuff, think, oh Christ, it's been a while. Yeah, and that's really what it's all about. But Jagged is the fourth album since there's a fairly major change of direction for me musically, and everything became much heavier, much darker.
Now, your sound has changed a lot over the years, seemingly as much to do with the technology that's available as stylistic intent. How has the kinds of equipment that you've been using over the last 4 records sort of changed the ease, the simplicity, or even the sound of your songwriting in general?
The sound of it, difficult to say, because pretty much any of the equipment that I've used in the last 4 albums was probably capable of creating the sound that I've got now. So I don't think it's had too much to do with that. I must have a bearing on it, I guess, with certain plugins or modules that might come along that would give you a certain thing. But that's I feel that the sound that we've created is more of a head thing rather than a gear thing, an equipment thing. But the equipment itself has changed a lot. I'm trying to think back to the first of these albums was done on 2-inch multi-track, and then I think from that I went to next one.